The biggest issue currently at Man United is the lack of goal scoring opportunities or the lack of chances created for the team to score goals. And on the surface, that's because probably our players are not creative enough, isn't it? But can I open your eyes to the fact that probably the problem why we are not creating enough chances is because we don't play the ball enough. What do I mean by this? Stick with me and I'm going to break it down for you. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe to the United Sport as we get to find solutions to the issues we have at Man United. Instead of just shouting and ranting and complaining about everything, can we try to also think about solutions? Now, for me, this is what I've been thinking. I've observed Man United for some time now, and the start of games, especially at Old Trafford, is always nervy. United do not have the composure to think that they can even control the game, yet they are playing at home. So usually what happens is they let the opponent play and they just try to manage to be organized, not to concede, which I personally think is a wrong approach, and perhaps that's an issue with the game plan of Ruben Amorim. I feel like that's a bit of an issue because you cannot be organized for so long, especially with these players who are only learning how to play in this system. But also, you're inviting more pressure upon yourselves if you're at home and you're not the aggressor. At home, the home fans want to see you be proactive, be the aggressors, then they will add the energy into you, pump it up, and make the atmosphere at Old Trafford, feel like, you're at home. So that your confidence will bounce back off the fans, but you first have got to start something. But the reason why we do not start it is because if you look at it critically, we have only one ball player in the team, in Bruno Fernandes. And that is why Amorim, and rightfully so, had to get his ball player, he's the guy who makes the team play, and put him in the middle of the park next to Manuel Ugarte. And we see a semblance of trying to play. But then it limits how much we can create going forward because the ball player we have is a little too deep. He's way too deep that he cannot create so many chances from the from deep. So we lack a ball player close to the final third in the attack to try and initiate things from that side. And you realize that at times it has to be Bruno who will do the ball playing from the middle, from the back, and then has to cover a lot of ground to try and create things going forward, which is too much work for him. And guys, whenever you ask too much of any player, however good they are, they are going to be lost. They are going to get lost. They can't every day, day in and day out, give you all that. They are human as well. So for me, I think the lack of ball players is the reason why we lack chances. Bruno Fernandes is our closest chance to creating chances, biggest chance creator, I think, in the Premier League, perhaps in history, probably. The numbers he has are insane. But he's too deep. You understand why coaches always want to play him as a number 10 because he can create something consistently. Now, because he was sacrificed, because I look at Bruno playing next to Ugarte as more of a sacrifice, we do need now to find a solution. And that's where, for me, I would go back to the unpopular Paul Pogba. Of the options, because you would think of Toby Collier playing next to Ugarte, but like I said, the person playing next to Ugarte has got to be able to make the team play so that we have two players, one in the middle, another in the final third, both ball players who make the team play from behind and one who makes the team play from in front. You need to have two players for you to balance it so that you reduce the load on Bruno. So is Toby Collier that player? Defensively, maybe. And he has signs that he can pass the ball and distribute it. But I think it's too much a responsibility for any player to do that, to be the one playing orchestrating the play from the middle. I'll give you an example of a team like Real Madrid at the prime of Luka Modric. Modric always made the team play, but from deep positions. Teams always need such players. Even Arsenal has a player like Declan Rice making the team play from deep positions. Players like Thomas Partey make the team play from deep positions. But they also have a Martin Odegaard who is making the team play in the final third. For us United, our Martin Odegaard is playing too deep and he's the only one. So in front of him, there is a bunch of guys who have their different skills but not that confidence to be a lot on the ball and make you try to create things and open up the opposition and dominate games. So for me, this is where my thinking is. The first solution before you even be excited about Amorim finding a striker, I think the first immediate solution that Ruben Amorim has got to find is that second player who is going to ease the load of Bruno, so that Bruno will probably be sent back to the number 10 and then have that other ball player next to Ugarte. Who is it? For me, the easy and obvious one, available one, should be a player like Paul Pogba. I spoke about him. But let's say it's probably impossible or difficult to bring back Pogba. Who are you going to bring and put there? Is there a kid in the academy who can carry that burden? Perhaps that's too much work for an academy kid. So maybe instead of Man United getting lots of money and spending it on signing a striker or signing any other player, how about we first get money to sign a ball player? Because whereas the team is being rebuilt, there needs to be a few important players who are more senior, because that ball player is supposed to be someone with the seniority of Bruno, a senior player. Are we going to go on the market and find the right partner for Ugarte so that we free Bruno, we ease the load on Bruno? Maybe for me, that's the one signing I would think Amorim would want to do. So instead of searching around for strikers, for probably, of course, there is still need for a wing back, that is without a doubt. So for me, there should be only two more signings, not a striker. Man United needs to sign a ball-playing midfielder to support Bruno, for Bruno to be released and sent back into number 10, to play with Ahmad probably as the 2 10s, and then have, or probably, if it's not that, let Bruno play as one of the 2 10s with either Kobe or Garnacho, and let Ahmad be the right wing back. And then if we don't have money, let's not sign a wing back. Instead of signing a wing back, we have Dogu on one side, Ahmad on the other, have Bruno and either Garnacho or Kobe, who I think will improve over time, he's still a kid. Have your striker and just sign the right partner for Manuel Ugarte, but that person should be a ball player, a person who is able to man the midfield, to play passes, to open up opposition, who is on the ball, a player like Martin Zubimendi, that style of a midfielder. I'm not saying we go for Zubimendi, but that style of a midfielder is what, for me, I think is the first immediate signing that should be made in the summer to improve this team for Ruben Amorim. I don't think that's a solution we can find in the academy. We can get a striker, Chido Obi, from the academy. I don't think we can get a ball player. That role is not for a young player. It's too much to ask a young player to be the one making the team play from the middle. Bring a senior player to partner Manuel Ugarte. That's what I think. Subscribe and let me know what you think about it.